What is up, everybody? It's MrAeroHD here, and welcome to the first episode of Dialed In on Forza Horizon 3. Now, I did have the game a little bit early, so the first couple of car builds that we'll be seeing on this channel will all be dialed in the Dialed In series, I should say. And Dialed In is where I'll show you and review the car, and then I'll have the tune at the end and explain why maybe I tuned what I did, or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I did have the game early, and the game was under embargo, so I couldn't really put out live. I didn't want to put out live builds. So I was building cars and then just like, I'll make videos about them later. Thankfully, I only did like 4 or 5, and you'll be seeing those in the next week or two, hopefully getting all those out of the way. And then we'll be going back to like a more normal schedule next week. Again, I'm not quite sure when this episode's coming out, because everything I have now is bulk recorded and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we have a 350Z here, 350Z, however you pronounce it from wherever you're from. I'm supposed to say 350Z, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not all Canadian. So this car, I built it to be like a beginner drift car. I've been an advocate for the 350Z to be a great beginner car ever since Forza 2, I think. I'm like, that's what I started in. It's not overpowered, it's not underpowered, it's got 400 horsepower, which is really enough for what you're doing with it here. It's not too heavy, so you won't feel a lot of sluggishness and no response. It's not too light, so it won't be too twitchy or flicky. But it's really one of the most well-balanced drift cars in the game, or in any Forza game, really, that it's in. So this car, it has the stock engine, about 400 horsepower. I opted to stay with the race springs instead of the rally springs, feeling that the stiffness from the springs was a little bit more necessary than the extra steering lock that you would get from the rally springs. So if you are wondering why maybe you can't pull as much angle in this car if you're using another car with the rally springs, that is exactly why. Even though it does not have rally springs, I feel like this car is still super stable, as you can see in the gameplay here. The huge downside of this car, of course, it only has 400 horsepower, so if you're taking it on something with long, high-speed corners, it's going to suck. It's not even going to be fun. That's why I have it here in the parking lot in Surface Paradise. I will be, if I have not uploaded the video already, I will be uploading a video detailing this section and its clipping points and going in depth with it. But this car, I tuned it for here, obviously, but it works perfect here because it's all flat ground. And it's very slow speed corners in comparison to what you might find driving around Australia. But again, about the car is it's built. It's not obviously not a street car per se, but I had like street cars or a missile car in mind when I was building it. Definitely just something to get you used to the physics, used to how to play the game before you jump into something with like 600-700 horsepower and then the full lock of those rally springs. Really not much else to say here, just a really well balanced car, very smooth, and honestly, in my opinion, so far is probably the best beginner vehicle in the game. Obviously, I haven't tried everything, and a lot of these cars that I have already built, such as the S chassis and stuff, I do have rally springs on, which completely changes the car, makes it a little bit softer, and gives you way more steering lock, which could add grip. But for me, this would be one of the best beginner style builds in the game so far. So rims really don't matter. You can put on whatever you want. Anybody who says otherwise is dumb, as long as you don't put on like super heavy wheels. Tire size is kind of relevant. It really depends. I kept the width stock, again, just so we didn't have to run too much power. It really has about how much power, like the max power I would put into it in its current form. If you want to add more power to it, you may have to upgrade your tires or upgrade your tire widths. As you see here, I put in race springs instead of rally springs. And if you're new to this series, if I don't cover it, assume it's a race part. For platform and drivetrain, and then the one with the diff, and I don't remember what it's called. Those two categories, I don't usually touch those because it just takes too long to go through and just tell you they're all race. And everybody here could just assume that they're all race instead. Again, I try to stay away from race cams just so you can keep the torque up, even though it's like not a very torquey engine. It is naturally aspirated, so that keeps your rev range really good. But yeah, this is really one of the more, if you're just starting off drifting, welcome to Forza. Welcome to Forza Drifting, and thank you for choosing me for one of your people to bring you through this this journey of addiction that you'll never get over. But yeah, it's a fun car to drive, and it's very, 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 very easy to drive. And as long as you're on a low speed area and it's flat and there's not a whole lot of elevation changes, you should do fine. So thank you very much. If you have any cars you'd like to see, please leave them in the comment section below. I've been MrAeroHD. Take care. Peace. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more, click the subscribe button. Also, consider becoming a patron at my Patreon page, patreon.com/MrAeroHD. Want to follow me on social media, or want to hear the song that you heard in the video? Please check the description.